And when I showed up to look at the apartment, it was me and 100 other people.
100.
I mean, the place was packed.
Hey guys, AmbossTV, and today I'm not in Nuremberg, I'm in Munich today at the Augustiner Beer Garden visiting a friend. And I thought I'm gonna meet Dana Newman today from the WantedAdventure YouTube channel, who recently convinced me to do the German Snacks Challenge, which was pretty good. Thank you for that. So Dana, introduce yourself.
So yeah, my name is Donna and I moved to Europe from South Florida. First I moved to Prague and now I live here in Munich.
Yeah, cool. And I thought I'm gonna revive my series Life of an Englishman living in Germany. And today I'm gonna do Life of an American living in Germany. When did you move here? How long have you been living here now?
I moved to Europe 8 years ago and 1 year in Prague and now 7 years in Munich.
Okay, so it's quite a long time already.
Yeah.
So how was the beginning? It's like one of my first questions is always like, when you arrive in Germany, and I'm not sure how good your German was when you arrived here. Let's imagine someone wants to move to Germany. Now, for some strange reason, maybe it could be that American president is not exactly what you want him to be, and now you decide to leave the country and you decide Germany might be the country. So what might be the first obstacles you encounter there?
I would say really learn German. Or take a few German courses. That was the first thing that I did in Germany, was focus on learning German. Even a little bit before I moved here, I tried my best to learn as much German as I could, because for me, yeah, I found that was just really important, and that really helped with going to the offices and figuring out the paperwork, and the stuff is in German here, and it's Germany. So, you know, you're moving to a new country, or you're thinking about moving to a new country. So for me, I would definitely say, start learning German.
Thinking about the people who live here, I mean, we're in Munich now. So, I mean, I have to say that even we Germans kind of say that Munich is a bit special.
Okay.
So when you're from the north of Germany, Munich is kind of a strange town sometimes.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. So when you are here in Munich, would you say, like, you know, if you talk to people in English, do you get strange looks, or do they expect you to speak German then? Or,
well, this is the thing, is that when I moved to Germany, for me, right off the bat, it was important for me to speak German. So I actually didn't really speak to people in English. I took 2 German courses and just cobbled together the best German sentences that I could. So instead of speaking English, I just spoke horrible German. And it slowly got better.
But that worked. It was good
worked.
enough.
Yes, it was good enough.
It was not like, oh, you foreigner.
No. Everyone that I spoke to was really open, and a lot of times I would cobble together my German, and then sometimes they would speak back to me in English, or a mix of English and German, and so we made it work. If we wanted to talk to each other, we made it work. But I always tried to start with German and then see what they wanted to go with.
I think that's something that definitely helps. I mean, when I moved back to Germany from the UK, I noticed, like, when you have to fill out all the papers, that they are all in German, and there's not even an option to get a different language.
No.
I mean, I can imagine that is a bit difficult, because, I mean, obviously, what kind of language would you choose? I mean, if you're an official government institution that's like, yeah, we pick English, or Polish or French. What do we pick? But of course, so basically, I think when you move here, you have to expect that you have to fill out lots of papers in German.
But that's even a different German. Yeah. I mean, the German in the paperwork is not, of course, normal German. Just like in the US, the paperwork is not really normal English. It's like this bureaucratic language, and that was even trickier. So yeah, when I moved to Prague, I moved there alone. And then while I was living in Prague, I did meet a nice German guy. And so when I moved to Munich, who I call in my videos Mr. German Man, who's here right now, when I moved here to Munich, I did have him to help me with the paperwork, and I was really grateful for that too. So thank you very much for your help. Yeah, he really helped me get through the German paperwork. When I lived in Prague, and my Czech was at basically the same level, I got help from strangers. Like I got help from people at my work, you know, with just general paperwork stuff. You make friends fast, or I did at least, you know. You're like, hi, you speak Czech. Can I buy you a beer? If first, before you drink that beer, you'll help me with this paperwork,
Yeah,
please?
so let's imagine you move here and you don't know any German at all. It might be difficult. So
I would say that would be difficult. Because also, I mean, when you go to the office here, even if you get your paperwork filled out, when you go to the office, you have to speak to people in German.
Yeah.
And so if you're really at null, I think it would be challenging. I did see some people bringing translators with them. I guess if they're here with a company, maybe the company provides a translator.
For Americans, and what exactly do you have to need? Like, what kind of documents do you need to be able to work with?
Documents, I mean, I just needed really my passport, and that's the one thing that's tricky, is I spoke with other Americans, and it seemed like everyone was told they needed a few different documents.
Okay.
So it really depends on who you get at the office sometimes as to how long of a visa you get right away. I knew someone who right away got a 2-year visa, and I went a few days later and did not get a 2-year visa right away. So both of us were Americans. Yeah. So sometimes it kind of depends on who you get at the office. But there is information online in German, but there is information online on what documents you need. But
do you already need to have kind of a, you know, a workplace or something, or you just can come over? And
I don't know how it is nowadays for sure. I remember when we looked into it, there were a few different options. There was like, you could be studying here, either at university or just studying intensive German, and then there were like different options of where you could do that. And then the option that I did was you have a job. And so I got a job as an English teacher, which is quite common for Americans to do. So I got a job as an English teacher, and then they write a piece of paper basically saying, yes, we did give her a job.
But you got the job before you came here?
No, after.
After, okay.
Yeah, after.
Okay, one other thing that I found confusing when I moved to the UK was how it works, like with actually getting a place to live, like apartments, housing, flat. I'm not sure about if there are any differences, like big difference between US and Germany, but maybe you know.
It's different.
Maybe you can say like there's a difference, like how you actually hunt a flat.
Yeah, so I would say a big difference. Now, this is of course coming from where I lived in Florida. I know that in the US it's a huge place, and there are lots of different, you know, in New York I've heard it's super hard to get an apartment. But in Florida at least, it's pretty easy to get an apartment. You show up at the apartment complex, and that's the big difference, is that in Florida anyway, there are apartment complexes, and you just show up there and you say, I want an apartment, and they say, okay, we have 5 available, and they show them to you.
That was my Seattle experience too.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Here, there are no complexes really. So it's just individual apartments. And when I showed up to look at the apartment, it was me and 100 other people.
100.
I mean, the place was packed. I couldn't even see the person showing the apartment. It was just packed. And actually, I found the apartment because I followed the parade of people going to the apartment. Like, that's all I had to do. So that's a huge difference. Yeah. And then they take into account, really, they ask questions about you, like, well, what's your job? And they want to see your resume and get to know you. Whereas in Florida, at least for me, they were just like, okay, they checked credit score. You know, in America, credit score is big. And then they were like, okay, so sign here, it's yours. So,
but I think when you live in Munich,
and
from what I heard, Munich is probably one of the worst places in Germany to find a flat at the moment. Where you have at least 40 people competing with you for the same flat, and also the price has really gone up in Munich. In Nuremberg, it was a bit easier for me. Back then when I lived in Berlin, I went there for one day. I had to look at like 8 different places, but again, not a complex, so I had to talk with individual people, like 8 different people, and all in one day. It was a stressful day, but then in the end of the day, 6 of them phoned me back and said, I can have the flat. Yeah. So I could choose between 6 flats. I'm pretty sure this would not have in Munich.
How long ago was that, though?
That was like 5 years ago. It might have changed now too in Berlin.
Okay.
But you can have other places in Germany too. But I think one thing is definitely sure is like, I think we've got less these complexes that you mentioned.
Yeah.
It's all like individual houses. You have one person to talk to, and then you have to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
You can't really go there and like, oh, show me all your flats in your complex. That's something you can't really do that. And yeah, like you said, like they want to know everything about you.
Yeah.
So be ready to open up and sell yourself. Like,
it's like a job interview.
Yeah.
You have to bring your resume. It's like a job interview. And when you do get the apartment, it comes with nothing.
Yes.
Like,
oh, no kitchen.
Yeah,
that's something I really hate
no
in Germany,
kitchen,
actually.
but also just like really nothing. Like in Florida, from my experience, the apartments, for example, the shower always came with the shower bar that you hang the curtain on, the shower curtain, you know? Whereas here in Munich, none of the places that I've lived have had the bar.
Not even the bar.
No, no bar.
Mine had the bar,
Yours had a bar.
But no curtain. So
okay, but no, in Florida also no curtain. But no blinds. In the windows.
Yes, sometimes.
They have those Rolladen, the metal, the like really hardcore blinds. But
not the indoor ones. The inside
not
ones.
the cloth
Outside
ones.
you got them,
Yeah.
In Berlin actually I had 2 flats. They were identical. The one only had the blinds already, and they're like, I'm gonna take the one with the blinds.
Yeah, there you go. Take
Same
that
price,
one.
like I don't have to fix the blinds then.
Yeah.
So it's actually you don't usually get them. That's
and no
true.
closet.
Yes. Unless it's like one that's like in the wall already, then sometimes
then they leave it sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no
so I guess it just depends on what the person before you wants to leave. Do they leave a kitchen? Then the apartment has a kitchen. Do they leave like
and sometimes you have to buy the kitchen from the ones that lived in there before.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Or they ask you to pay a fair price. Yeah. And then they take it with them and like And also like with the whole stuff that they want to know. I know there was like this one case when we watched the flat, and then I was there, a single guy back then, and then another single guy, and we took a look at the flat, and then some couple came in. We're like we're screwed. We're not gonna get that flat if they like it. It's
so they prefer couples.
Yeah, they look like a perfect couple. We're like, no, they're not gonna take us. You know, it's the perfect couple there. The other's just gonna be worried. You know, we're gonna find someone else, then we move out. So I think that's something that the landlords here, they really take into account. They think like, how long is this person gonna stay here?
I've also heard stories about like some problems with a little bit of bribery. So I
could imagine that.
Like maybe, here's this lovely bottle of, some expensive. That's what I've heard. I haven't actually talked to anyone who did that, but I've just sort of heard like rumors about that takes place. I don't know.
We don't know, but I'm pretty sure it can happen. Yeah.